Migration is the movement of a group of organisms from one area to another. Migration can be voluntary, forced, or merely instinct, and occurs in many different species around the globe. Although biologists don't know much about what triggers this instinct in organisms, it is known that hormonal changes in the organisms tell and allow them to migrate. Migrations introduce new genes into different areas and isolate groups from others, sometimes even leading to a new species. A movement can be considered a migration that meets any of the four criteria. 1. It is a persistent straight movement. 2. The group moves further and longer than they usually do. 3. The movement happens seasonally and goes between two areas. And 4. The movement leads to the redistribution of individuals in a population. Migrations can be obligate, where members of a group must migrate, or facultative, where individuals can choose to migrate. Migrations can also be complete, where all members migrate, or partial, where only some migrate. Migrations can be grouped into two different categories, forced and seasonal. Seasonal migrations are the most common kind of migration, with many different animals participating in them. Two examples being birds and whales. These seasonal migrations are predictable, they occur at the same time every year, take place between two different areas, and serve a variety of purposes, the two most important being reproduction and finding a more suitable temporary habitat. In cases of reproductive migrations, individuals search for mates during their journey. In some cases, animals return to the areas where they were born in order to reproduce, such as in the case of the salmon. In other instances, animals migrate in order to search for better climates, when their usual homes get too hot or too cold in winter or summer. These animals migrate to find less harsh weather to live in temporarily before returning home. Oftentimes, animals migrate seasonally for both these purposes, mating when they migrate to a more suitable area. Migration isn't always instinct, however. Organisms can sometimes be forced to migrate. Habitat destruction, overcrowding, and other factors can force groups of organisms to move elsewhere in order to find the resources they need. The most common forced migrations today are caused by destruction of habitats by humans as we spread outward. And now to our specialist in the field.
Here we have the Baltimore Oriole, a bird native to Central America and eastern North America. Its habitat consists of the woodlands. The oriole eats insects, fruit, and nectar, which are easy to obtain in the abundant climate of summer and spring. But as the days become longer and longer, and colder, it becomes difficult for the oriole to find its next meal. The changing conditions trigger metabolic reactions, making the bird able to carry more nutrients for longer periods of time. One day, as the climate is becoming too harsh for the bird to sustain itself, it takes off and migrates south to find warmth in Central America. Once at its destination, the oriole will wait until it is safe to return to its homeland, so it can find a mate during the spring.
Although talking about migration commonly refers to animals, humans migrate as well. Human migration is generally defined as the movement of people from one place to another with the intent of settling in a new location. Similar to animal migrations, human migrations can be forced or voluntary. The first Homo sapien migrations are estimated to have taken place around 70,000 years ago, as humans left Africa. More recent voluntary migrations can be seen in the colonization of the Americas by European powers and in the movement of many Jews to Israel. More recent forced migrations can be seen in slave trades, the partition of India, and the refugees from many of the conflicts going on today. Put that on a shirt.